Is it possible to study smarter rather than harder? Apparently it is. Mesky recently released an article with the title Study Smarter Rather Than Study Harder. I'm going to summarize the article, but we'll make sure to put the link to the article below. So the first tip they give us is to make sure that you're recalling everything you know about a topic from your memory without prompt. One of the ways we tend to do this in medical school is by doing multiple choice questions. But one of the flaws with a multiple choice question is that sometimes the answers they give you will help you remember. You might have a gut feeling this answer is better than this answer. It doesn't necessarily mean you know the information, but you're able to identify the answer among a sea of similar answers. But if somebody asks you, what is the mechanism of action of XYZ medication without giving you prompts, and then you say everything you know about it, that is a better way to recall the information. The second thing that you need to do is to repeat the information. Say if you learned something on day one in your lecture, the next day, if your lecture is recorded, it's good to go back and rewatch it. And then maybe a couple of weeks later, go back and rewatch or review your notes from the lecture. And then even months later, go back and recall or review. You might think it's not a good use of your time to review things you feel pretty confident about, but we are able to forget after a couple of months. You might think you're confident with something, but as time goes by, weeks, months go by, you might forget that piece of information. So it's very important to recall the information, review the information, even the information you're already confident with. The third tip is to alternate topics. So for those of us who were in med school or are in med school, you'll have multiple topics going on. You're taking multiple classes rather than just focusing on one topic or one class. The whole body's integrated. So it's good to switch from topic to topic as long as it's information that is related. If you're an undergrad, this might not necessarily work if you're doing statistics and English. It's good to take breaks and switch back and forth, but studying those two topics at the same time might not be so productive. But for those of you who are in medical school, the body's actually connected. Studying, say, medications that help the lungs and pharmacology of medications that help the kidneys. At the end of the day, within the topic of pharmacology, doing questions from multiple topics will help you recall the information better. The last tip is take care of yourself, especially for my friends who are in med school or law school or any kind of professional school where it's very difficult to do other things besides study. Make sure you take care of yourself. What I mean by that is make sure you eat enough. Make sure you sleep enough. Most adults need some adults need 9 hours, 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Make sure you exercise. So when you're eating, you'll have enough fuel or enough energy to remember the information that you're studying. If you sleep enough, this is when your mind organizes the information. And then exercising increases blood flow to your brain, so you're more likely to recall. Either way, I hope you found this information useful. If you want to read the article, we will make sure to link it below. Bye-bye for now.